right. Well, we're moving on to another music topic this week. As you can tell, I don't even know if he needs. I don't even know if he needs an introduction. We brought on our friend Dallas DJ Outro to discuss Kanye West, Donda, his 10th studio album. It's named after his mom.
Yes, it is.
It's got a billion records on it. We really just wanted to bring Dallas on because we wanted to have a discussion on, the hype of it, what we thought, maybe a general review. But, I guess just to start off, Dallas, you've listened to it. What's your impressions of it? Favorite tracks, least favorite tracks, anything like that you just want to get off your chest about Donda. Donda.
All right. Donda. No, so Greg, thanks for having me back on. Brenton, man, love you guys. You guys doing a great job. Amazing content. I mean, the class and elegance that it's done with, honestly, because I'm about to get really silly, but you guys do a great job. Now back to my back to scheduled programming. I got the CD 2 weeks ago. Okay. Now, when you get something as important as that, you hold it sacred, but you don't believe you have it. Not until the actual leak, I got the leak, but not until the actual CD came out did I believe that I had it. So I had it. There's a couple songs I didn't have, like the part twos, obviously, but I did have like a couple songs, but I had 22 songs. So my perspective is coming from that. It's not coming from the release that you guys heard.
Okay.
And I feel very passionate about this because I'm a musician. I've been playing piano since I was 7 years old. Been DJing since I was 25. Play the bass, the drums. I play everything. So I really have a thing about this. So my first thing I would say is I had the CD for 2 weeks, listen to it, and I would dare to judge it because it's artwork. I seen when it came out and how quick people were like, this sucks. I'm like, bro, it was 3 hours ago. What are you saying right now?
Right.
Could you imagine if you poured 6 years into some shit and within 25 minutes, somebody's like, yeah, it sucks.
I think there is a precondition with people now to just immediately hate Kanye West. For better or worse. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't even know if people listened to this and then made a decision. I think that's a lot of it too.
Some dude wrote on my Facebook and said this verbatim. You can go. My name is Dallas Outro Richardson. It's not that private. He said, well, I've listened to some CDs that have given me goosebumps, and that one didn't. I was in my head like, it's too early in the morning for you to be this stupid. Bro, what? Name 3 things that give you goosebumps. I bet you can name one. The cold. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? That doesn't even, like, I do get goosebumps when I play music, but it's very situational. It's not like, oh, this CD itself gave me goosebumps. Shut your face around me. Like, stop comparing Kanye to the artwork you just listened to and also the artwork that is situational for you. Okay, take yourself and stop being unbiased and be like, this is what I need Kanye to do for me because I need him to rap about this for me. Kanye is a grown-ass fucking man going through everything that everybody else is going through and creating beautiful music while you sit on your couch and eat Cheerios or Cheetos. What is it?
You can eat Cheerios. You can sit on your couch and eat Cheerios.
Do the thing, Brenton. Yes, there it is. So Greg, to answer your first question, my first impression of it was very organic. I heard it in its organic form, and I'll never forget that. I told my buddy who sent it to me he didn't have to give me anything for Christmas, and I go to his house every Christmas.
So, Brenton, you've listened to it, and what are your initial thoughts on it? Anything stick out to you? You like, dislike?
I thought that the fact that he put out an 1.5 hour long album stuck out to me.
Sure.
And and that's just because with things getting, shorter and shorter these days. I mean, last year my favorite hip hop album was Open Mike Eagle, and it's like 29 minutes long. You know what I mean? And like, just some of these different, like some of the things, the Sturgill Simpson thing was like 27 minutes long. I know the Olivia Rodrigo thing was real short,
It's
and
like 38 minutes. John
yeah,
Mayer's 37. I mean,
the
there's just
last
not a
time I
lot.
can
Yeah.
think of, and Dallas and I were talking about this on the way to work today. The last time I can remember an album being this long was Stadium Arcadium.
Yeah.
Double album.
Yeah, and it was a double. Exactly. It had 28 songs on it, on both things. It kind of goes back to like the conversation we had last week a little bit about the Killers, in that music is so subjective, and of what I've heard, I think it's like I listened to it once basically, and so for me to render an opinion of how good or bad it is, especially compared to anything else that he's done. I mean, his last thing was a gospel album.
Well, no, so you just said that. Okay, so here's my thing. Okay, my grandfather was a Pentecostal preacher my whole life. My grandmother was a national evangelist. That means she went nationally to preach. I don't agree with that, but that's what she did. So anyway, I grew up in gospel music. Okay, being from the inner city and letting everybody know that you was a church kid was not the coolest shit of all time. I don't know if
that's what I mean though, is like, and I don't know if you caught our discussion last week. It's like, once you've been around so long, you're kind of entitled to try some shit out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what we talked
about.
Trent
Reznor can do it and nobody says black bats and I.
Right. So that was Kanye's last thing. So for this, I honestly kind of think, what I don't understand is any criticism, because to me this was kind of a return to form of not necessarily older things, but just like pushing the medium
as he's always done. Okay, and he doesn't do it in a way that is superficial. Like all right, G-Reg with the third leg. Here's my thing. I appreciate your love for Taylor Swift. I do, because it is what it is. Okay, even if I hate it and it makes my balls itch, it is what it is.
It might be something else, Dallas. I just don't.
It's definitely Taylor Swift. It's definitely Taylor Swift. 100% Taylor Swift. I went to the doctor. He was like, "You got that Taylor Swift." But anyway, like, I understand your organic understanding of what that is. I understand that. Kanye, like, for me, I got the tattooed on my arm. Like, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, there it is.
But I appreciate his growth in terms of music with life at the same time, because here's my thing. It doesn't always work out that glorious. Remember Kurt Cobain? We'll cry about the guy who couldn't handle it and argue with the guy who can. It's crazy to me.
I've listened to it once full time, and now I'm just kind of picking and choosing songs here and there. I agree with you, Dallas. It is art. It's something to me that this is how I go about Kanye West. He's one of my top 3-4 favorite rappers of all time. I've discussed how much, I appreciate his work in previous podcasts, and I separate the art from the artist as, whatever. I don't even really care what he does.
Yes.
I also don't really care what he does, because he gives me music. Whether I like it or dislike it, it's been up and down with him, over the past few years, but whatever. I still generally like Kanye West. This is how I judge Kanye West beyond other rappers. Is I really like heist movies, and I like Michael Mann, and I like Steven Soderbergh. And if I can picture Kanye West's soundtrack, like his album, in the soundtrack of those movies, then I'm fine. And this to me sounded like a heist movie soundtrack. It had the beats, it had kind of the build up on each song. The rapping is, it's kind of, I don't want to put it in just as, it's standard Kanye rapping. It's funny, it's tongue in cheek. There is some heartfelt stuff in there for sure. It's very, religious for his end. There's a lot of, Kim, there's some Drake stuff. I've never been a big fan of Drake, so I'm always okay when people diss on him. And it was fine with this. Seems like he's maybe a little too hung up on Drake, but I get it. I think, like you said, Dallas, I'm surprised so many people crapped on this immediately. because I went into this album completely open-minded, the fact that this is just giving us Kanye. And I mean, if you're a Kanye fan, you're gonna like this album. I just don't see how you're gonna.
No.
I feel like you.
Don't do
I feel
that.
like you would.
Don't do
I'm
that,
surprised.
Judge Judy. Don't do that, because Judge Judy. I watched episodes of Judge Judy where she backs you into a corner and just keeps talking, and you can't say anything else. Listen.
No, what
listen.
I was gonna say.
No,
what I was
but,
gonna say though, if you're not a Kanye fan though, I could see how you wouldn't like this. Though I can totally see that end of things where he is kind of doing what he does. It's just in a different form. It's a longer format. His albums are much shorter than this for the most part. I just the absolute just vitriol towards this though was so weird to me. That's the thing that was shocking
more
to me.
about the person than anything else, which is dumb.
Okay, that's kind of my thing with this is there's nothing bad about this album to me that sticks out. It's not the greatest piece of rap he's done, but I mean it's certainly good. I mean, like it's certainly Kanye West is what I should say. It's certainly Kanye West. It has the Kanye stamp to it.
If you saw a Picasso right now, you would say, "What the fuck? What 14-year-old drew this?" That's what you would say.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's a Picasso. Okay. Kanye has more Grammys than Stevie Wonder. That dude has been singing songs since your dad was a kid. So we have to pay some respect to just that. So when we talk about Kanye, I'm not talking about Kanye on surface level. I'm not talking about Kanye on even Lady Gaga's level. I'm talking about Kanye in terms of some of the gods of music. Beatles level.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I mean, he's
unarguably, because here's the thing, the dynamic of it is we choose to see things in the light in which makes us feel better. Kanye came out with Jesus, and I hated it. What did I tell you? And what I tell everybody on my podcast, Outrospective, shameless plug, my favorite CD of all time was Jesus, because the more you listen to something, the more you understand a person. So all he did was what he's been doing. So he poured himself into this CD. That's why I said it's artwork. Dua Lipa's not an artist to me. Because I don't think she's pouring herself. I think she's pouring whatever they made her into. But Kanye's pouring himself into artwork. So it's already going to be considered some of the best art of all time because Picasso painted it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an album that 5 years down the road probably gets like this retrospective in Rolling Stone, where people are like, what we got wrong or whatever. Rolling Stone, certain music magazines do things like this. What we got
culture,
wrong, what we got right. Yeah.
We're a culture that loves our dead more than we like the alive. Honestly.
Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, that's just the way. That's art in general. Artists were never famous when they were alive. They're always famous when they're dead. I guess just one thing, does anybody have a favorite track on this? Because I have to me, I have a clear cut favorite track, but
no, I do. Brent, you go before.
I don't really have one. I haven't gotten to it's like, I'm not qualified.
You are though, but
because to me it's background music.
But Brent,
everything is background music for me.
No. Here's what I would tell you: Kanye gains fans like you because you gave it a chance. And here's my thing: the perception of Kanye can be skewed left or right very easily. It's like Democrat or Republican when we're all fighting for the same America. Your opinion matters whether you think it matters or not. And that's the artist that he is, like the Stones, like the Beatles, even Jay-Z. I mean, a lot of Lil Boosie, I understand he's appealing to one crowd. I like him, but he's not appealing to white people. We don't care. But Kanye is trying to appeal to something that's bigger than, I think, just whether you like my album or not, man. I honestly think that. But I think your opinion matters, so say what you feel.
But that's the thing, though, is that's not what makes me not feel qualified to say really anything about this. It's that I like everything to me is background noise, background music. You know what I mean? I haven't listened to it enough to render a complete opinion on it, because it's like I listened to like 5 songs, you know, before you got in a car, and then after that it was like it was on, but we were talking, so I didn't really get to listen to it. So it's like, you know, of the ones that I listened to, I gotta pull it up.
Well, wait, while you pull it up, here's my thing about music, and this is why I think I'm an okay DJ. Like, I do gigs and I made a life out of it, but music is of the subconscious, and I understand that. And it's not about your like, I am a conscious music listener to. Like, I will consciously listen to music. A lot of people, it's just background shit unless it's your favorite shit. I listen to everything. So I understand that. So you're an average listener. So that's the perspective. No, that's a band that I really like too. Pick up the pieces. No, so, honestly,
yeah. I mean, I really like Jonah, and the other one that I really liked was Off the Grid.
Off the Grid was
that one was all
like
the
initial.
It was
favorite.
all beat. That's the thing. It's like I couldn't even tell you what any of the words were. I'm sure there was an in there, but outside of that, it was just the beat. It was just the music,
and things like that.
And things like that.
So I guess just, you know, any.
No. Wait. I need to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
This.
I was going to ask you, Dallas, to go ahead on that. Like, do you have a favorite track, or what do you think, you know, on that end of this?
Well, Greg, this is going to be like a whole, because remember, I told you my relationship with the CD came from the leak.
Right.
So whenever you have the leak, you be like, you want to know, is this really it? Is this it? So I was like, so my first indicator that it was it all sounds new. It sounds fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, there's got to be, it's something. So I'm going off of what I heard, the raw version. Like, I just had my girlfriend in here listening, like, hey, listen to the difference. Like, you hear how raw this sounds and how clean this sounds? She was like, yeah. I was like, which one you like better? She was like, yeah, the raw version. Because it sounds like Zeppelin back in the day, whenever they just did music and it was on tape. It's like why you listen to a vinyl record. Right. I think that's the comparison I'm making. So I'm coming from the standpoint of the rawness of it. Jonah is, if you like, that's amazing. I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not okay. It's okay on it's him rapping different, talking about how rappers sound like him when, like, it's him doing something that's different. Like, R.I.P. to the old Kanye. He married Kim Kardashian and still cares about her. That was a song he made about when you said you want a ring, you really meant a ring. Like, that's the song. So I've been listening to this CD a lot longer than a lot of other people. So I think Jonah is one of his best songs because he let somebody else take the limelight. If you notice when you listen to it, he in a lot of songs he took the background. Like, in Jonah, he lets that guy sing the whole thing. He's the last verse on it. If you listen to Jesus Love, like, he put the locks on there, and the locks are amazing right now. Like, the locks are taking off right now. They were amazing in the 90s.
In the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're taking off right now. And Jada Kiss so Kanye is a strategic music. I dream and think about music all day long. Nobody thinks about music in my head more than I do. So for me, this is a musician's artwork. To me.
So that's definitely fair. Yeah. I mean, I don't, like Brenton said, it's hard to go off of something, especially when, you know, you've been able to listen to it longer than we have.
Yeah.
And it's a long album. I think, you know, just I guess my final thing would just be on this. If you know, I would like to get someone's opinion on if they have listened to it, on why they didn't like it. If they are someone that didn't like it, I would actually, you know, send it in to us. Tell us, you know, give us your thoughts.
I can give you
all
one
our different outlets. Yes.
I can give you maybe one perspective, because I try to be kind of introspective in my love of Kanye, because I know I'm supremely biased. It may be the force of Christianity on people. Okay. I miss that because I don't care. But I think a lot of people are like, oh, here goes Kanye rapping about Jesus, or kind of like his lifestyle and dropping people from, like, how he does everything, like, very outwardly. Like, he manifests all his thoughts and pukes them all out. to where most of us write them all down on paper or something like that. That's how his thinking brain thinks. So I think that could turn some people off, not understand. Like maybe thinking like he's full of himself, or why does he think I need to see this when it's just that man's artistic expression? I think that could turn people off.
Sure, it's probably that, and then just his general, like, the people just don't like Kanye. You know,
I think
whatever
that's
reason.
a lot of it. Honestly, I think that's a lot of it, and I think that you have people who got on board for, you know, the beginning with college dropout and late registration and all that stuff, and it's just like, well, why isn't it that? And because it's the same question is, it's the same thing as why, you know, it's the same question as why the Killers made the CD that they, or the album that they just made. It's the same question that why, you know, the Chili Peppers made Californication. So you're not going to be Blood Sugar Sex Magic forever. You know what I mean? You're not, like, it's not sustainable. You have to, would you say it's his 10th album?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? And so you have these people who are like, but that's what I mean. It's like, to me, that's what it kind of was. It was a return to sort of that 808 and heart. Yeah, get that thing. Listen,
I don't know,
Drew
bro.
Carey. This is Drew Carey. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
And that's why it's called the BXG, because this guy is witty. But ching.
But that's what I mean, though, is like the Dark Twisted Fantasy, or, you know, Pablo or whatever. It's like it's a return to the form. It's a return to the form of pushing something different. And I think that, you know, he tried the gospel thing, and I don't hate him for it. You know what I mean? It's just like that wasn't for me.
Can I say something really quick? Your favorite artists are the artists that you grow up with. Okay, so Britney Spears. A lot of people grew up with Britney Spears. That's why a lot of people grew up with Britney Spears. I would have liked to have grown. Never mind. I had to talk to you on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like if the music of the Red Hot Chili Peppers grows with you,
yeah,
then you tend to have that be your favorite band. Kanye, I understood everything Kanye was doing when Kanye was doing it, because I was growing at that same rate, and everything he was talking about as he was growing made sense. Or I can understand how somebody would turn off the Kanye because they didn't understand the growth that he has had. You, like Brent said, you can't continue. If Britney Spears started dancing and said, "Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared of you," that's gonna sell out for like 2 shows, bro, like 2 big ones. Everybody's gonna be like, "Okay, you got to stop singing about that now. You're fucking 50." So
right.
So everybody's judging Kanye about how good he was back then when they could relate to it, to how much he's grown and now how they can't relate to it anymore. That doesn't mean that the music isn't good. That you love Lady Gaga, you've grown with that, what she's saying.
Right.
You've grown with that. And I respect that, because I think music, I just put on Facebook that my Bible of music says, you listen to your least favorite song every day and make it your favorite. That's what my music says. That's why Creep is one of my favorite songs. You think I like, Greg, look me in my computer eyes and tell me, not my computer, okay, but my computer eyes.
Okay.
And tell me you think I liked Radiohead any part of my life when I was younger.
Like I said last week, if that's your spiel, then we need to check on you.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
That's definitely. Yeah.
What's your plan?
But you grow people. So
you
music
go with it. Yeah.
Music becomes pillars. Music becomes checkpoints. Like, you remember when in Sonic, whenever you would run. Never mind. Do you remember in Mario? I forgot who I was talking to. You remember in Mario, whenever you get to the checkpoint?
Yes.
Yeah.
That music is just a bunch of checkpoints that are reminders of where you were when you heard that thing. And a lot of people are creating those for people who don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, you remember where you were when you heard that song. That's an artist's mind. And Kanye has an artist's mind. He lives his whole life devoted towards making music that he thinks are checkpoints for people. Like, I remember we have to stop judging music as if it's just like you writing a letter to your girlfriend. That's not what it is. I'm sorry, that was a spiel.
I think that's just I was
myself.
just honestly gonna add just that this is why we brought you on, Dallas. I mean, you're the musician, you're you know way more about music than either of us, and the actual ground level of it. We are, listeners or of it, and we appreciate music, but that's why we had you on. And So to get your viewpoint on this, I think was important, and really, I think it's gonna. I like to think that what you said about this, and doing what you do for people that haven't listened to it, or maybe listened to it once, and for whatever liked it or disliked it, we'll go back and re-listen to it again. I just think that's I think that was important to have you on, and that's why we did it.
Contributing correspondent.
Can I just say one more thing? My thing is about music. Like, I didn't know how well I could do music. Like, when I got a master's degree, I didn't know like I could do that. It was just something I did. But right now I'm in this place of music. I'm just like, oh, I'm understanding like what music is. It makes you better when you understand that. So that perspective only comes from how deep I am in music in myself. So I don't want like that's my genuine perspective on it. Like, I'm not judging the CD for the CD. I'm judging it for what would it take for me to be that human being with $5 billion to be that focused on that one thing. You better be lucky, because there's a lot of billionaires going to space, bro. Like, what is that? This dude's focused on giving you music for you to judge, and you're dumb enough to judge it. Just listen to it.
It's because he's focused on himself and not seeing everybody else.
Yes, and
if I had
we all be that way?
If I had $5 billion, and I would be saying, "Have you seen you?"
Yes. Have you seen you? Have you seen you? I'm going to sit here in my studio. I'm actually going to lock myself in a football stadium basement, because they build those things bomb proof.
Okay, so I think that's where we end. Dallas, thanks for coming on. I know you're on a summer hiatus on your pod, but if you want to just give a formal promotion on that, you go right ahead.
I will give that to you. Outrospective is coming back. I'm going to have Greg back. Obviously, me and Brenton are going to chop it up. We have a lot of life to explain, and I think there's a lot of life to live with that guy. Also, I'd like to give a credit to you guys for having me on your podcast, because I can't literally talk about some of the things that I actually want to express, and you guys open up that pathway for me, and I think you could do that for a lot of other people. But yeah, my shit's coming back with a banger, man. I'm coming back with people who might be on TV one day. That's my thing. I went to Brent and I told him that oddly focused is kind of like my agenda right now. Just oddly focused, like damn, man. Like, how did I just spend 10 hours playing video game? Brent.
That's what I do.
So. Exactly. But that's an odd focus on something you care about, and that's where I'm at right now. So it's going to be oddly focused.
There you have it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Dallas.
Thanks, as always. Contributing correspondent.